All right, welcome back. So in this lesson, I'm going to get you guys a little more familiar with the .NET platform, and we're going to write our first app. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we are at the home screen of Visual Studios 2019. So what we're going to do is go down to the Create Project at the bottom right-hand corner. And what we're looking for is Console App. So we're going to type it in the search bar, Console. App. And we're looking for the one that says console app .NET framework C#. So go ahead and click that. Click next. We're going to give our project a name. We're going to call it Hello World. For the location, this is where all the files associated with the application are going to be stored. We're going to keep it at the default location. The solution name, we'll keep it the same. And for the framework, we just want the latest framework that's available, which is already pre-selected. So we're going to leave that the same. So we're going to go down to the bottom screen here, bottom right hand corner. We're going to go ahead and hit create. All right, here we are. So the first thing you'll notice is there's already some pre-written code or text on the console. It's about 16 lines. Let's start at the very top. At the very top, you'll see there's a using keyword followed by more text. What these are naming spaces. Now, depending on your version of Visual Studios, you might not see all of the naming spaces, or you might have more, you might have less. Again, it just depends on your version. As you can see, they're grayed out. That's because we're currently not using them. And they can be thought of as pre-written code, pre-written applications, or pre-written code that makes our coding easier. We can call on these naming spaces to utilize their functions. So don't worry too much about that. We're going to get really deep into the course, and we'll talk about naming spaces a lot throughout the course. So as you come down, you can see we have our own namespace, which is Hello World. And everything is basically contained into these two brackets. Below that, we have a class called Program. And class is going to be a concept that we're going to cover more as we move along. Inside this class, we have what's called a method, and it's your main method. Now, most programs are going to have some variation of a main method. And what a main method simply is as soon as a program is called, this is where the compiler looks first for its instructions. So that's where we're going to be writing our initial instructions or our first program inside the main class. Oh, sorry, the main method inside the program class. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to write console dot write line. Now, console is a class that's associated with the system namespace. As you can see, it's no longer grayed out because we're now using that namespace. WriteLine is a method. So the console calls up the console, which I'll show you guys what that is in a little bit. And WriteLines is a method to basically read whatever goes into these brackets. And inside these brackets, we're going to write hello world. And after every line of code in C#, you need to put a colon. And what we're going to do next, well, first we're going to fix this hello world. Now we can run our application. So we're going to come up here up top where it says start, and we're going to click start, see what we got. And as you can see, the console pops up and it disappears. That's because we need to tell the application to wait for a response from the user before you close out the application, because the only instructions here are to just, hey, show this on the console and then close the application. So the way we can do that, we can say console dot read line colon. So let's run that again. See, hello world, and it stays there, and when you hit the enter key, it goes away. Now you guys might have noticed when you typed in write line, or as you were typing it in, there was two options that came up. One that said write and the other one that said write line. Now the only difference between those two is that write line has an escape character at the end that creates a space between the first line and the second line. So let me give you guys an example. So let's just go down and write another line of text here for console, say console.write line, and we're going to say line 2. And we're going to put a colon, and we're going to run this. Pretty simple, right? Hello world. And then the second line we wrote is line 2. So what we're going to do, we're going to comment this out to show you the example of just show you the difference between write and write line. So the way you do that is the / twice, and that comments out everything that you put on that line. And you can see it's in green now, so the application won't recognize anything that's written there. So let's come down, type console.write instead of write line, and we're going to call this line 1 colon, and then we're going to console dot write line 2 colon. And I'm going to show you guys what the difference is. As you can see, they're both on the same line now. And that escape character wasn't added to basically create that space. And we'll get more into escape characters as the course goes along. But just wanted to give you guys a quick preview because I know that's a common question as you're first learning. You're seeing these options that are similar and you're curious on what the difference is. I think that's a good place to stop. We learned a little bit about the console, what we could do, the naming spaces, and we wrote our first application. So I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Thank you.